The moment this episode started, I knew something was off, and I knew I had to talk about it today. Because there is one question a lot of people have been asking over and over again. Is Carlos King trying to replace Melody with Kimmi? And honestly, after everything that went down in this episode, it really feels like somebody is trying to push Kimmi into a spot that she cannot hold. Yes, she might have a seat. Yes, she might be calm and collected on camera. But that special kind of shade, that natural fun, that soft strength, that confidence that Melody brings, nobody is matching that. Not Kimmi, not Letitia, not Destiny, not anyone. And when you watch this week's episode closely, you can tell watching Kimmi try to step into that space feels forced, and it is simply not landing. Now let's go into the episode because the energy was messy from the very start. First of all, Letitia, girl, you came on screen with that full face of makeup, that bright concealer, that extra confidence, and suddenly you thought you were the villain of the season. It was written on your face, and honestly, even Marceau saw it coming because whenever Letitia has that full glam look, she comes ready to argue. But what made it funny was the fact that she wasn't loud or tough when Kimmi was tussling a little bit with Nell. She stayed quiet then. But now she wants to get bold and act like she's ready to take on everybody? That's interesting. And since Kimmi didn't jump in earlier, now Letitia is ready to run to Bessemer to go pick up Miss Wanda for backup next week. And you know when Wanda enters any scene, baby, the calm disappears and the chaos begins instantly. Speaking of Miss Wanda, we need to talk about that TikTok. She came out in that red outfit from head to toe, and you could tell she felt good. But I have to ask, why were the legs open like that? Why did we have to see her spraying down her whole situation? Miss Wanda, please, close your legs. Bessemer does not need to be open to the world like that. And the cape with the collar, no ma'am. And then the background of that video, that old curio cabinet, those curtains that look like they came from 1983. Tisha, please go help your mother. That house needs a little love. Anyway, back to the episode. We start with Trish and her friend Sharon. And honestly, this was one of the calmer moments of the episode. Trish opened up in a real way. She talked about losing people and why she doesn't want to get close to new folks. And I actually understood her. She looked good too. The black hair, she needs to keep that forever because it suits her so well. And this season, she feels more honest, more real. She's not moving weird, she's not lying every 5 minutes, and it is nice to see this side of her. Then we go to Kimmi's little soap making event. It was cute, nice idea, and honestly, if they did something like that in Dallas or Houston, I would go. But Kimmi's outfit, I don't know. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. And the whole time, she was giving mother hen. She was acting like she was the oldest one in the room, trying to keep everybody in line, trying to guide the conversation, like she's the head girl in charge. And maybe that's why there's tension between her and Nail. Because sometimes Kimmi doesn't just host, she tries to control. And that energy does not always land well. Now Letitia walks in. From the news up, cute. Nice makeup, nice top. But those white leather boots, girl, throw those away today. Those boots look like they came straight from a discount bin. They were not made for walking, dancing, standing, posing, no thing. I don't even know where the white came from. It did not match anything else she was wearing. Then Destiny arrives, and I'm shocked to say she actually looked cute for once. And then Trish came in, and that body was bodying. Slim, thick perfection. She looked amazing. But the real drama started when Nell wasn't invited. And Kimmi's excuse? Oh, I didn't invite her because she has game night later, and I didn't want her to be late. Girl, please, that is not a real reason. You should have invited her and let her decline herself. That excuse made it look like you purposely left her out. That's giving exclusion energy. And honestly, it is the same energy some of them tried to use against Melody. but softer and quieter. And this is exactly why Kimmi rubs people the wrong way sometimes. Then Destiny starts being messy, which is the one thing she is good at. She says Nail wasn't invited because Tisha was there. And that comment set Tisha off like fire. Suddenly she's yelling, "Keep my name out your mouth." But the funny thing is that Tisha was the one who kept bringing up Nail at her birthday party. She got drunk, she got loud, she kept interrupting people, and Nail gave her grace, more grace than she deserved in that moment. Nail could have dragged her right then and there, but she didn't. And now she's acting like she is the victim? Please. Let's move to game night, because that's where the real mess begins. Destiny walks in with Will, and the moment Ken sees him, I knew we were about to see something because Will didn't tell Ken he was talking to Destiny. And Ken is sitting there like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And in Destiny's confessional, she has this pink dress that looks like a Miss Piggy costume and this blonde shake-and-go wig that is fighting for its life. Destiny needs to stick to black hair and never touch this blonde wig again. Destiny starts talking about, "I can date as many men as I want to." And she's not wrong, she can. But when people start calling you names, laughing at you behind your back, or joking about your worth, you also have to deal with that too. Because when you date the whole friend group, it gets messy. Huntsville is small. You cannot date in circles like that and expect peace. Even in a big city like Dallas, I would never date people who all know each other. It's a recipe for drama. Then Lance walks in with Kiera, and I'm sorry, but that wig was not working. That little cheap 27 piece was sliding, lifting, wiggling, everything except sitting still. And her outfit? No comment. She can do better. Destiny tries to act unbothered, but then Will hits her with, "You got 24 hours to prove your worth." I don't care if he was joking. That was disrespectful. That was low. And Ken agreeing with him, even worse. Destiny should have lit them both up right there, because it is one thing to joke, but it is another when the joke is about your value as a woman. And you could see it right away. When Will said that, Lance raised his head like, "Oh, really?" Because the moment men start clowning you behind your back and also in your face, the energy shifts. Destiny needs to tighten up and stop giving these men so much access. Now, let's go back to the men because their reactions were interesting. Martell and Marceau suddenly being friendly and joking around felt strange. It was giving guilt energy, like they know something we don't know yet. And the men talking about Destiny like that was weird too. Men don't usually get this much screen time to gossip. But here they were talking about who Destiny dated, how she moved, what she said, and Martell saying Destiny is a good girl while Will looked uncomfortable showed you exactly how these guys think behind the scenes. Meanwhile, outside, the ladies are still yelling. Kenny is trying to mediate Tisha and Miss Nail to talk, but Miss Nail looked like a Tasmanian devil spinning in circles. Her energy was wild. You could tell she didn't want that conversation, but Kimmi forced her to come out and speak. And even then, Tisha was not ready. Miss Nail ended up defending herself the whole time while they were basically trying to double team her. And I respect her for standing her ground. She did not back down or try to sugarcoat anything. That is 10 toes down energy, and I love that. The tension between Lance and Twan and Will kept growing. You could feel it in the air. Everyone was watching, wondering who was going to make a move next, and Destiny's comments were only making things worse. When you are dating multiple people in a small friend group, every joke hits harder, every reaction hurts more, and every comment starts a conflict. Meanwhile, Kimmi is still trying to act like she is the leader of the group. And that is exactly why this whole replace Melody theory feels real. The way the scenes are structured, the way Kimmi is centered, the way she is trying to control the room, it feels like somebody behind the scenes wants her to be the new main girl. But no matter how much time she gets, the energy doesn't hit the same. She has a seat, but not the crown. And then we get to the birthday party mess. Tisha being loud, Destiny pretending she doesn't care, Miss Nail staying ready, Kimmi trying to mediate but also stirring the pot quietly. Everything was messy. And all of these small comments, looks, and reactions are starting to shape the alliances for the rest of the season. The funny moments came when Martel and Marcel were playing spoons, both of them cheating like teenagers. It was silly and funny, and honestly, a nice break from all the arguments. These moments remind you why fans love the show. It's not always fighting, sometimes it's just messy fun. As the night goes on, Destiny's situation with the men keeps getting worse. Will's comments, Lance's reactions, Tuan watching everything, you could feel the tension building. And outside, the women's fight is still going on. Kenny is trying to mediate but cannot stop anything because those women are holding years of emotions. By the end of the night, you can clearly see who's aligned with who's being shady, who's pretending, and who actually stands their ground. Miss Nail stands out as the strongest. Destiny looks reckless. Kimmi looks power hungry.